Lane Kiffin, you left the boys hanging. There is a big difference between a player leaving and a coach leaving, and here's why. The key difference between why people don't care as much when a star player chooses to leave for a bigger school is because they haven't made their money yet. Money! The key thing here is Lane Kiffin's made a lot of money. His family's fine. They're doing great. And you can kind of look at the player as, hey, he's choosing to go get his bag, go take care of his mom, take care of his family. Well, when that wealth is already established and Lane Kiffin and his family is already taken care of, you don't really have that fallback kind of excuse. We all remember ourselves not making very much money in college. I don't really fault players for going and being like, I'm going to get my money now because I don't know how long this game will last. You never know when your last snap of football is going to be played. So people in the media and people in general have a lot more grace for a player leaving a program high and dry versus a coach. You know, all those locker room speeches of commitment and dedicating yourself to the team, the buy-in for the program, you pretty much toss that all out the window when you leave. And he just kind of left for clout, really. There's a lot of very dramatic posts out there. It's a lot of very dramatic takes of, now if I were a player, I would never go play for Lane Kiffin. I'm not going to be able to trust him. Well, I will tell you this. Players will want to come to LSU because it's LSU. I think Lane made this decision knowing what the media and what people are going to say about him. He's already understood that this isn't a good look, but I think he looks at it and he sees it's not really going to have long-standing effect on his career. Yes, this was a bad move to make. I think he should have stayed. Honestly, if I were building something at a college football program and we got to a point of making the college football playoff, I would just want to stay. I would just want to try to go win one just for the legacy of it. When you're taken care of, you just want to win. He values more winning at a top football program than an Ole Miss type. And yes, I still think Ole Miss is a great program and one of the oldest standing traditions of football there, but it's not an LSU. It's not a Notre Dame. It's not an Alabama. It's not a Georgia. It's not those programs, whether we like it or not. So Lane Kiffin, I think he took all of this into consideration. One factor that Lane Kiffin may have neglected was college football's ever constant coaching carousel. Head coaching jobs open up all the time, and every year, every season, there's a new one that pops up and people are getting fired left and right, and this is just one of many jobs that will open up. So that makes me think that there was something very specific about LSU, and I think it has to do with that it is one of those top programs like we talked about earlier. But it is deeper than that with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin personally wants to redeem himself from that USC, very dramatic, highly public firing, all those issues that took place there. If you look at his coaching tenure, after USC, downgraded to an offensive coordinator at Alabama, downgraded, and now he's a head coach again. Oh, but it's FAU. Then, everyone understood when he left Florida Atlantic to go to Ole Miss, that makes sense. And you'd think that would be satisfactory for Lane Kiffin, but it's not. Lane would rather give up what he's built at Ole Miss for the opportunity to go win at a highly respected program. That's how much he values LSU as a name. He wants the name more than he wants necessarily a championship. He wants the big school name on his chest. He wants it on his LinkedIn. He wants it in his bio on Twitter, X. That's what he values. I don't think it's the money. I don't think he cares about the negative press. There's something underlying there. He's always wanted to build himself back up to a well-known, well-respected school and then win there. Now, all of this big picture, knowing Lane Kiffin, don't know him personally, but what I've seen in the media, how I've seen him carry himself, the way he interacts with people on social media, I think there's something else to this. And I think this other point is very Lane Kiffin. Without knowing him personally, we do know Lane is petty. We know that he hears and sees what people say about him, how they say it, what they say. He pays attention. He confronted it looked to be just a college journalist. He went up to him after a game and called him out for something that he said. That's who Lane is. And if he sees you, he'll come up to you and he'll say it. Kind of respect that about him. for all of us, if we were in his shoes, this reason might lead us to not choose LSU. But I think for Lane, it's the perfect tipping point. And that is his daughter's boyfriend is the linebacker for LSU, Whit Weeks. It all centers around Whit Weeks. I think that the tipping point for Lane Kiffin choosing LSU is that he gets a chance to coach his daughter's boyfriend. I know it seems silly. I know it's kind of ridiculous. I think that legitimately that was a reason on his book to take this job. Outside of the notoriety, outside of it, it's a big school, big program, legendary university. Whit, if I were you, I'd hit the portal. I wouldn't want to play for Lane if I was dating his daughter either. Hit the portal, get out of there, go somewhere else. Because if you stay there, he's not going to make life easy on you. That's my take on Lane Kiffin to LSU. I wouldn't have left. But if we look at who he is, consider his past, consider him as a person and what motivates him to succeed and to work at a high level, to me, this makes perfect sense.